What is up with it? Today we are going to be watching a little sneak peek of OP11. This was broadcasted by the official One Piece Japanese YouTube channel. They're going to be playing Shirahoshi Yellow Green versus Blue Yellow Nami. If you're unfamiliar, the Blue Yellow Nami has two effects. The first one being that if you have 7 or less cards in hand on your turn and a life card leaves the life pile, either life pile, you get to draw a card. The second effect is on your opponent's turn, Dawn times 1. When your opponent declares an attack, you can discard any card and you get plus 2,000 for the rest of the turn. So she can very easily become a 7k leader for the entirety of the opponent's turn. People are very excited about that. Seems extremely strong. Then the Shirahoshi cannot attack. Also, activate main once per turn. You may rest one Dawn card and flip the top of your life face up. You may play one character with the Sea King or Megalo character card that costs less than the total Dawn on your board. So kind of a Vegapunk-esque effect where she can't attack. She is 5 life, however, and she can kind of cheat out characters. So not too much hype around this one, I would say, from what I've seen. But I'm definitely interested in seeing. Okay, so here first we have a searcher. Let me double check what this one does, because it does have two effects. Okay, so this one, activate main. You may rest one Dawn and this character, look at the top 5 and reveal a Sea King or Fishman Island type card and add it to your hand. So not going to be able to do that here as we only have one Dawn. Similar to like a Bonnie or Doflamingo searcher. Okay, here on our 2 Dawn turn, we're just going to go ahead and attach a Dawn to the Nami. So that way, if our opponent swings, we can discard to become a 7k leader. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and rest a Dawn and look at the top 5. Okay. Not really showing us what he's thinking about. Okay, gonna go ahead and add a 5-cost yellow character. Let me double check what that one does real quick. Scrolling so far. Okay. 5-cost activate main. If your leader is Shirahoshi, you may rest this character and turn one card from the top of your life face down. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 3 or less. And it's a 5/7. So on his 5 Dawn turn, he could potentially play that for 1 Dawn. KO a 3 or less and also turn his life face down so that way next turn he'll once again be able to use the effect. So gonna go ahead and flip up this shark, which is just a blocker that becomes a 6k blocker on the opponent's turn. 3 costs 2,000, but on our opponent's turn it's gonna be a 6k blocker. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and play the Capone. This is gonna go ahead and look at the top of our deck and find either a Capone or a Straw Hat. Looks like we're thinking about grabbing possibly Gum Gum Jet Pistol, I think is what it's called. The one that 6-cost spell that removes anything. And we're just gonna go ahead and swing 8. Oh. Is he swinging at the character? That's interesting. If he dealt a damage here this turn, he would get a draw, but electing to decide that he would rather get rid of this searcher, and also the opponent deciding he would rather get a search off than have this blocker, which is quite interesting. Not very often you see decks do that sort of thing, so I'm wondering if that means that he really thinks that this blocker is going to be super important. We're going to grab a 6/8 vanilla. I'm thinking that that means... Okay, so here we have a 4/5 that looks at the top of the deck to just add one. Just add a Shirahoshi or Sea King type card. So kind of similar to a Zoro in Purple Luffy. Gonna go ahead and pass back. Again, the leader cannot attack, so this is gonna be a very slow-paced game. At least from the Shirahoshi side. I don't believe we've really seen any top end revealed yet for the Shirahoshi. So it will be kind of interesting to see what happens here. Okay, so here we're going to be able to bounce something that's 5,000 power or less. And also if this is ever KO'd, then we're going to be able, by effect specifically, we're going to be able to play something off the top of our deck. So I'm guessing the Shirahoshi probably is just going to let this stay here. And we'll probably not remove it with any effects at least. Okay, so here we can go ahead and flip our life card face down, and then we can pop the beige. And now what we could do is we have 7 Dawn, so we could rest one and cheat out a character again by flipping up the face of this life. There we go. So this is going to go ahead and be a blocker with an activate main once per turn. It's going to go ahead and be a Chono Mage. 5 cost, 6,000 power, Sea King, blocker, activate main. If your leader is Shirahoshi, you may turn one card from the top of your life face down. At the end of your turn, set this character as active. So just being able to, at the end of our turn, flip this face down. And if we chose to swing with this, you know, on our next turn, we're still going to be able to use it as a blocker. So bit of an interesting card. Okay, so gonna go ahead and swing 7 at 7, and we're gonna go ahead and 1K. Ooh, the Nojiko. This is just going to on play return a 5 or less. So we're gonna be able to bounce that frog monster back to the hand. And then we're gonna make sure we have a Dawn attached to our leader. Gonna go ahead and swing 6. So we could potentially block 1K, but we're just gonna take, not wanting to starve ourselves too much. We are a 5 life leader. I'm gonna go ahead and play that new Nami blocker. If you're a multicolored leader, you can go ahead and draw 3 and then put 2 cards back on the top or bottom of your deck. So kind of like a graceful charity, but the cards will go to your top or bottom of your deck in any order of your choosing rather than your graveyard. Okay, and that artwork does look fantastic, I would say. It looks really, 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 really good. I think the art they've got going in OP11, I feel like every set, the art is just looking better. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you guys think there's any set that has the best art so far, but I feel like every set that comes out, I'm more and more impressed. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and play this 6/8 Jinbei. This card is definitely really, really strong. On play, if your leader has Fishman or Merfolk type, rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less, and then activate main. Up to one of your Fishman or Merfolk characters can attack the same turn they are played. So you can, it basically can give itself rush, or it can give one of your other things rush. I feel like here, since we cheated out this 6/8 with our leader effect, we should probably give the vanilla right here rush. And then we should probably be swinging into this Nami with this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and swing 7 into 7. And then we're going to go ahead and swing 9 into 7. I'm not exactly sure why we decided to swing the Jinbei rather than the vanilla. I feel like I'm fairly certain the Jinbei can give the vanilla rush, and we don't really want to put our Jinbei sideways. I'm gonna be honest, I think these two are probably not very strong players, but it is fun to see these decks just really early sneak peek, see what sort of things they're doing. Can give us some insight into what the creators of the game envision the deck to look like. This is a really cool play that we set up with our Nami last turn. Dude, I'm telling you, the art is so crazy in this set. Which is going to let us go ahead and play an 8 cost secret rare Luffy off the top of our deck, which does have rush and has a win attacking effect where you can discard a card to bounce a 4 or less. Also, attach a Dawn to one of your characters or leader. Definitely feeling like the Nami is getting very much in the lead here. Um, just having a really big board. And we're just taxing the Shirahoshi's hand. Yep, we can go ahead and swing. There's unfortunately nothing for us to bounce other than our own Nojiko. But honestly, there's worse things in the world than picking up our own Nojiko, you know, especially considering there's this good, juicy 5 cost on the board. Um, we could have just bounced it next turn, but we decided that we really wanted to get rid of it this turn, and if they play any 5s next turn, we'll just bounce that instead. But the Nami has not even used leader effect. The Nami has actually just been a vanilla leader this game, I think. I don't think we've procced either effects, which is really, 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 really funny. Um, I will say, if we play a vanilla leader and Shirahoshi still loses, it's a really bad look. It is a really, really bad look. Okay, we're going to go ahead and 2K, 1K. Oh, gonna go ahead and play the Shanks. Okay. And just KO that Luffy. That's really good for us. That's a huge tempo swing. Now we're going to be able to actually cheat out a character with our leader effect. Could be a 10 cost character, theoretically, if there was one. I don't believe there is one of the Shirahoshi Merfolk type. So I don't think that's actually possible, but if they print one. Oh, gonna go ahead and um Gum Gum Jet Pistol that 9 drop. So now we can go ahead and swing 7 at life. We'll take, and we're finally getting a draw off the Nami, I believe. Maybe we've actually gotten 2 draws before that, to be honest. It depends on what our hand size was. I didn't really get a good look. Um, I wish this was a little smoother. I'm just not familiar with the Shirahoshi cards. I tried reading them before this, but they all just read kind of Resident Sleeper to me. Like the Nami cards, clearly I'm significantly more familiar with. Yeah, I think we definitely need to see some good top end options from the Shirahoshi for this deck to. They haven't revealed any, Maybe there aren't any. Maybe they're just not printing any, 8, 9, 10 costs um, for this leader. But I feel like really that's the thing that would be the deck is really lacking. They haven't revealed any so far. Um, and, if your leader can cheat out things at the cost of not being able to attack, um, I'd really hope that eventually you'd get to, okay, so this is going to be the Smoker, has Banish, gets to restand a Dawn. Um, I'd really hope that if you're able to cheat out things, you'd be able to cheat out something that's a little stronger than just a 6/8 vanilla. I mean, playing an 8,000 for one Dawn is obviously really strong. Um, but you can't attack. So your opponent is saving a card every single turn. And if you play versus Rob Lucci, you're gonna play this 6/8 vanilla, and he's gonna remove it every single turn. And the Rob Lucci will actually just end the game at like 4 life. Oh, this Nojiko is so strong, being able to bounce this Smoker. Gonna play 8 cost Luffy again. This is going to allow us to swing at life, discarding a card, potentially bouncing back our own Nojiko again. Yep, looks like that's what we're going for. And that will go ahead and put a Rested Dawn on our Nami. So now our Nami gets to draw because we dealt the damage. We get a swing 6 at life. Our opponent is going to be forced to counter out of this, of course. And we've got a full grip in our hand, and when they try to start attacking our life, we're going to go ahead and use our leader effect to become a 7k leader. So it's going to be really, really tough. You have to imagine that the Shirahoshi player feels like they have to kill this turn. But with 3 life, 7k leader, that's going to be exceptionally difficult, especially because it looks like we have 6 cards in hand. So once that last swing tries to connect, we're going to have 9 cards in hand. Even if we play a 6/8 for 1 Dawn, which I don't think we can even do because we don't have any life cards to flip up. Even if we played a 6/8 for 1 Dawn and we gave it Rush with the Jinbei, I still don't think we'll be able to get there. Okay. Looks like we're thinking of starting with a 10 swing. And whether this is going at life or board will give us a lot of idea about if the Shirahoshi is going for game. Okay, yep, we're going to go ahead and lead our effect. So the Shirahoshi player has decided this is the turn I have to go for game. That said, this is a horrible position to go for game. Genuinely awful. Yeah, we can take no trigger. This dude seems really, really silly. We're going to go ahead and go 10 at the Nami. We have what? We have 5 Dawn remaining. So we can go 10 again and then 11. And if you're the Nami player, you can pretty comfortably... Or we can go 11-11, my apologies. You can pretty comfortably take the first 11 and then counter out of the second one. Okay, we're going to go 10-12. Pretty reasonable. Maybe there's a world where we go 10, they counter, and then we swing some number into the Luffy instead and then play a blocker and pray. Definitely, that's something possible that could happen. Yeah, I mean, if you get to this point, surely you have to just YOLO swing 12 and pray that they have absolutely no counter in hand. Yeah, and of course they do. I mean, the man had 9 cards in hand, you know. Wow. That that was fun to watch. I'm super excited for the Nami. Interesting to see they weren't playing any like Hiyori or things like that to kind of stack, but I'm sure they mostly wanted to be showing off like new cards and their alt arts and all that stuff. So I'm sure this isn't what the actual list will end up looking like, but it is interesting to see it just in action. Very cool. Awesome to see all the artwork. I appreciate them posting this. I appreciate you for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.